It looks like the mystery has been solved, and the UFC is headed to Paramount Plus of all places. Wow, I mean, this is crazy news, breaking news, monumental news, game-changing news, sports. All the world is changing, and it's turning into a truly global sport in the near future. Let's get into it in this video right now. Starting off the top with the announcement, breaking news, the UFC has agreed to reach a 7-year, $7.7 billion with a B dollar deal, exclusive U.S. media rights deal with Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus, of course, is a predominantly American-based streaming service. As of now, of course, we'll get into the details later on in this video, which talk about where that may be going in the future of international rights. Beginning in 2026, all UFC events will stream on Paramount Plus, with select events also airing on CBS. That's linear national television. That's your channel 9, 10, 11, whatever, basic CBS news, right? Where 60 Minutes is, where NCIS is, where the Masters is, where the Super Bowl may be. That's CBS. That's big time for the UFC. Of course, the UFC over the past couple of years has been on ABC as well in select moments, in select fight night events. Of course, just a couple of weeks ago, UFC Abu Dhabi, Robert Whittaker, Rainier Dorito, that card was exceptionally stacked because it was on ABC. It was on national TV. Millions of viewers tuned in to watch in the middle of a Saturday afternoon. That's what they're looking to do with CBS, and it sounds like potentially there may be 4 big events, if not all 13 pay-per-views per year, going to CBS linear television to millions and millions of fans. I mean, this is now confirmed. They said it themselves. Mark Shapiro, Ari Emanuel, Dana White. This is essentially the death of the pay-per-view. Now, you have to tune in and get the pay-per-view of UFC 319 this weekend and a couple more pay-per-views to end off 2025. But January 1st, 2026, going forward, no more pay-per-views. They announced the deal. All events will stream on Paramount Plus for no additional fee. Of course, you're going to have to front that cost, $8, $12 a month, and that will be it. So essentially what you're getting is all of the UFC coverage for the year, main UFC events, fight nights, and pay-per-views included. That's 13 numbered events and 30 fight nights. You're getting all that for one price if you opt into the single yearly deal that Paramount Plus has going on, instead of ESPN Plus, where you have to pay for a monthly subscription, and then on top of that, pay the premium pay-per-view price of $80 freaking dollars plus tax in the United States. This is a big deal for the United States. Now, moving forward for the international deal, we'll get a little bit spicy, get a little bit interesting there, because Paramount does have matching rights for up to 30 days when all of those deals end. Of course, over in Europe, TNT Sports, up in Canada with the Rogers Sports deal, they're still having to pay for pay-per-views, but Dana White, very happy about this. He's smoking a big fat cigar, announcing the deal early this morning. I've, of course, dropped this video later in the afternoon so I can assess all the details, get all the research out of the way, and we can talk about the entire darn thing right here. He said this morning: "This historic deal with Paramount Plus and CBS is incredible for UFC fans and our athletes as well." Is it, Dana? Is it, Dana? I'm not so sure about that one. But of course, UFC fighter pay will be going up just a little bit. Ariel Helwani and Luke Thomas will tell you that they're not getting a dime from this. They will be getting some money from this. Of course, it will not be going directly into their contracts. Think of the NFL, the NBA. The reason why their contracts are so big and so absurd is because they get almost half of the rights deals when they're signed with the networks, right? They split them up over NBC, Fox, CBS, ABC, wherever they go. The athletes, they get a portion of that. UFC doesn't quite work that way, but I guarantee you that they will be earning some kind of benefits from this, okay? Continuing on, for the first time ever, fans in the US will have access to all UFC content without a pay-per-view model. That is fucking massive, making it more affordable and accessible to view the greatest fights on a massive platform. This deal puts UFC amongst the biggest sports in the world. The exposure provided by the Paramount and CBS networks under this new structure is a huge win for our athletes and anyone who watches and loves this sport. That's Dana White this morning, breaking the news himself on social media. They've been all over the TV networks, they've been all over the sports networks, but they broke the news on social media, which tells you a lot, right? Anyway, Ari Emanuel continued on. He said this deal came together after the Skydance merger, acquisition. Paramount, Skydance, they're now one entity. That cost them $8 billion to make that happen. And not soon after, this came together. In under 48 hours, they claim. Now, I'm not so sure if that's real, if that's just optics. They're saying this, getting friendly with them, because they're now partners, right? They're going to want to make each other look as good as possible, even if they were being cutthroat in the negotiation window. But this is the official statement by TKO and the UFC. We'll read through the entire thing. Well, you can skip past this part if you'd like. It's just the nitty-gritty details, but it's interesting, and we want to cover it. It's a big deal. This is probably the biggest thing in the sports history. Arguably, it's one of the big moments in the sports history, right? We have to talk about it. We have to get into it. Paramount and TKO announced historic UFC media rights agreement. Paramount to become the exclusive home of the UFC in the U.S. starting in 2026. All UFC numbered events, which is aka the pay-per-views, 311, 312, 313, that kind of thing, and fight nights. No mention of The Ultimate Fighter or Dana White's Contender Series. Dana White Contender Series, of course, is arguably one of the best products they are putting out on a week-to-week basis when the seasons come around. We'll stream live on Paramount Plus with select marquee fights simulcast on CBS. Select marquee events. That doesn't say all numbered events, but I predict that is the 4 major events that they are hinting and alluding to. Los Angeles, California, and New York, August 11th, 2025, right? This is today. Paramount, a Skydance Corporation, and TKO Holdings, a premium sports and entertainment company, today announced a 7-year media rights agreement in which Paramount will become the exclusive home for all UFC events in the United States. Starting in 2026, Paramount will exclusively distribute UFC's full slate of 13 marquee number events and 30 fight nights via direct-to-consumer streaming platform Paramount Plus, with select numbered events to be simulcast on CBS, Paramount's leading broadcast network, of course. So this is interesting. Of course, all the stuff going to Paramount, some of the stuff going to CBS, some of it on linear television, some of it on Paramount Plus. Of course, people often complain about how bad ESPN is as an app, how bad people complain about ESPN Plus as an app. This is a weekly occurrence. I have to deal with this on a weekly basis. It's annoying. Lately, the stream's been freezing up every 4 to 5 minutes, missing out on fights, missing out on corner work. I mean, this is absolutely atrocious what the UFC and the ESPN partnership has been doing to some of the fans who have to deal with the ESPN app. So maybe going forward, the Paramount Plus app will be much, much better. Of course, they're building it out on a daily basis. Of course, this isn't all positive. I'm saying some positive things because it's exciting. It's a big deal for the UFC. As part of the agreement, UFC and Paramount will move away from the UFC's existing pay-per-view model in favor of making these premium events available at no additional cost to the expansive U.S. subscriber base of Paramount Plus. Of course, that price will probably tick up slowly as time goes on. Of course, Netflix is all the way up to like $24 a month. Absolutely ridiculous for no ads. This shift in distribution strategy will unlock greater accessibility and discoverability for sports fans and provide an important catalyst for driving engagement and further subscriber growth for Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus intends to explore UFC rights outside the U.S. if they are available in the future. I couldn't be more excited to join forces with Dana, Ari, and Mark. Rarely do opportunities arise to partner on an exclusive basis with a global sports powerhouse like the UFC. Exclusive. NFL, NBA, they all have to split up their rights because they're such a massive entity. They want to get coverage on all these networks. The UFC, still a little bit niche, right? Not a lot of people, you talk to them, not a lot of people out there watch the UFC outside of just a couple casual fights here and there. So maybe the next deal, which will come after the Paramount deal, that might be where the UFC, the rumor was they were going to split up some stuff on Netflix, some stuff here, some stuff there, some stuff there. That might be what the next deal will entail. Of course, we're waiting to see where Dana White Contender Series go and the Ultimate Fighter as well, where that's going to fit in. We're just going to have to wait and see. Driving engagement, subscriber growth, and long-term loyalty, and the addition of UFC's year-round must-watch events to our platforms is a major win. We look forward to delivering this premium content to millions of fans in the US and potentially beyond. This is a milestone moment and a landmark deal for the UFC, solidifying its position as a premier global sports asset, said Ari Emanuel, executive chair and CEO of TKO. Yeah, that's right, TKO. They just signed their ESPN deal with the WWE side of things. WWE, of course, is on Netflix. We were wondering where the UFC is going to go, and of course, this looks like it's going to be Paramount. It's inked. It's done. This is what is happening January 1st. Our decade-long journey with the UFC has been defined by continuous growth and expansion, and this agreement is an important realization of our strategy. We believe wholeheartedly in David's vision and look forward to being in on it all, right? That's the next question here, or that's the next bit. Business with a company that will prioritize technology as a means to enhance storytelling and the overall viewing experience. We'll see what happens in terms of how stacked the pay-per-views are going to be. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Paramount is a platinum partner with significant reach, said Mark Shapiro, president and COO of TKO. Our new agreement unlocks powerful opportunities at TKO for years to come. Meaningful economics for investors, expanding premium and inventory for global brand partners, and deeper engagement for UFC's passionate fan base. Of course, the UFC fan base will go wherever the UFC is. They are one of the most dedicated and hardcore fan bases in all of sports. They're very loyal to the UFC. Just as importantly, our athletes will love this new stage. UFC is the world's premier mixed martial arts organization. UFC events take place year-round with approximately 43 live events annually, delivering more than 350 hours of live event content in the U.S. UFC has approximately 100 million fans who are highly engaged across linear, digital, and social platforms. It's a huge hit on social media. Of course, the knockouts, the submissions, it all goes very viral, as opposed to just shooting some hoops and hitting some touchdowns, right? Further, UFC is one of the truly global sports properties, with programming reaching nearly 950 million broadcast and digital households across more than 210 countries and territories in 50 languages, as well as a roster of approximately 600 of the world's best male and female athletes representing 75 different countries. The 7-year term, which begins in 2026, has an average annual value of $1.1 billion with a B dollars. The contract's payment schedule is weighted more toward the back end of the deal. Wow, that is it. That is the official statement by TKO. Of course, I may have alluded to it earlier. I may have said a wrong number, but here it is, $1,160 for a UFC fan to watch all the events legally, mind you, compared to 2026, where it will be $120. That's not even factoring in Fight Pass or any other fights you like to watch. That's $30 a month, roughly, I think. I could be wrong there, but I mean, this is absolutely insane. This is going to become one of the least expensive sports to get in on, one of the least expensive sports to watch. This is going to be absolutely crazy. Jason Hagholm on Twitter, shout out to him. Dana White spoke to CBS Sportsnet about the new Paramount UFC media rights deal. We'll get into the clip here in a second, but let's talk about what all they discussed in summary. Thank you to him for summing it all up. Dana loves the UFC being on Paramount. As you can see, these streaming services need live sports to be part of them. I love Paramount Plus for its great content, including South Park, Yellowstone, and Mobland, and I appreciate that it moves away from the pay-per-view model. Skydance's merger with Paramount played a big part in the deal happening. Dana loves being in business with the people he is aligned with, politically, whatever, personally, I don't know. A great deal for the UFC fighters and fans. Dana loves it being aligned with the Super Bowl and the Masters. Those are big, huge sports entities. UFC now stands toe-to-toe with them. Dana White says the UFC will do 4 huge events per year. Dana says there is no time off for the UFC, looking to put on the biggest and best events on a weekly basis. Okay, come on. Get out of the apex now. Get out of the apex now. Dana says he's back home on Paramount. That's an interesting comment there, back home, because, of course, Spike TV back in the day held some UFC events, The Ultimate Fighter. That turned into Paramount Plus, Paramount Network, whatever you want to call it now today. Dana says the challenge is now to make bigger and better fights and what to launch the Paramount Network deal with. So, of course, the first Paramount deal. What is that fight going to be? Is it going to be a title fight? Is it going to be a numbered event? We're just getting to wait and see. This is getting very exciting. This is all speculation. This is what the conversation is going to be about for the next few months. Of course, here's Dana speaking on CBS Sports HQ, their big sports network. Not a ton of people watch it, but here it is. Let's take a listen to what Dana has to say.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, if you think about where I started from and to be here, you know, having this conversation with you right now about landing this massive deal, I mean, this is all the things that I used to dream about. My big thing was I believed that one day we would be on a platform where the entire world could watch the fight at the same time and on the same channel. And we are definitely getting closer to my vision with that.
What can you tell us about how much the UFC will be on CBS, linear TV, with the country watching?
Yeah, it's looking like we're going to do 4 big events a year. And, you know, we're talking about doing a fight at the White House next year on the 4th of July, the 250th anniversary of America. So imagine a massive fight on the lawn of the White House on CBS.
A little bit of conflicting information there, as Mark Shapiro saying that 13 numbered events will be on CBS. Dana saying the 4 big ones only. That's probably going to be quarterly events, tentpole events, which are just absolutely massive. One of them being the White House deal, of course. Here's Mark Shapiro. When he went on CNBC this morning, the pay-per-view model is a thing of the past. What's on pay-per-view anymore? Boxing, movies on DirecTV. It's an outdated, antiquated model, so it was paramount to us, forgive the pun, where it's one-stop shopping, especially for our younger fans in flyover states. When they find out, wait, if I just sign up for Paramount Plus for $7.99, $12.99 a month, I'm going to automatically get the UFC's numbered fights and the rest of the whole dang portfolio, weekly fights. That's a message we want to amplify. All the media outlets getting into this, all the media outlets talking about this, all the media outlets are covering this. This is huge, monumental news for not just sports, but TV, streaming in general. It's a streaming exclusive network deal. It's a network exclusive deal with CBS. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Huge move by the UFC. It's all staying in one place. We thought it was going to get split up, and it looks like it's all staying together. Here's Ariel Helwani. Past couple days for TKO, the company TKO. Of course, they have WWE, they have UFC. This is what they've done in just a few days. Moved its WWE pay-per-views 12 shows a year to ESPN for $1.6 billion over 5 years. Moved the entire UFC package to Paramount for $7.7 billion. That's absolutely absurd. To be honest, both moves shocked and didn't see them coming, but that's some damn good business. Of course, the rumor was Netflix, the rumor was Apple TV, the rumor was going back to ESPN for the UFC, and now they're all going to Paramount. So now the speculation begins. What is the first event going to be? Ilia Topuria, one of the biggest stars. Islam Makhachev, Khamzat Chimaev is fighting this weekend. Conor McGregor, John Jones are back in the testing pool. The question is, what the heck is it going to be next? 3024 is the first potential pay-per-view event, PLE, private, premier live event, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be the first potential Paramount card, or is it going to be a fight night? We don't know. But of course, like I mentioned earlier, $7.99 standard price for a Paramount Plus subscription service. That's without ads. $12.99 premium without ads. Cheaper than ever before. Is it going to be Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler at the White House? Is this going to make them drop all the consequences of selling pay-per-views? Will the pay-per-views get saturated? Will the fight nights get saturated? What's going to happen? Will everything level up and rise up because they're going to be on CBS? They're going to be on national TV? Who knows what the heck's going to happen? We can only speculate from here. Jake Paul reacting to the news. He's a big proponent of not having pay-per-views and fighter pay. Every fighter in the UFC now has a clear picture of what the revenue is. No more pay-per-view excuses. Get your worth, boys and girl. He's basically saying to unionize, to get something together, to work together to get a piece of the pie. Will the UFC's fighters do it? Of course, it's interesting. Luke Thomas and others have reported on this. This is all just public information. You can go find this for yourself. Paramount, Skydance together. The company itself is worth less than the UFC just allegedly made or just signed for their 7-year deal. So they're banking on this making a crap ton of money. $6.6 billion valuation for Paramount, $7.7 billion deal. Very interesting here. Of course, Jason S. Nash, writer, journalist, I don't know what exactly he is, but he's all over Twitter with this. The risk has been inverted. It is no longer on the UFC to put on a good show. The risk is now entirely on Paramount, which has bet the farm that the UFC brand is all that matters. The promotion is now completely insulated from the consequences of its own mediocrity. That I disagree with. The UFC has signed a deal with Paramount Plus. Okay? The UFC has signed a deal with Paramount Plus to now bring subscribers to Paramount Plus. No longer are they selling in-house pay-per-views that ESPN is fronting the bill for. No longer are they just catering to the sports fan. They are trying to bring in a number of subscribers. The UFC's job over the course of the 7 years is to bring in as many subscribers as possible. So there is actually pressure on the UFC. I disagree wholeheartedly with that. Listen, maybe I'm wrong here, but the pressure is on the UFC, the pressure is on CBS, the pressure is on Paramount, all together to now build a subscriber basis. They are getting this huge amount of money, $1.1 billion a year, so that they bring subscribers in. They get people off of CBS, they get people off of the Masters, they get people off of the Super Bowl to go subscribe to Paramount Plus. They get them hooked with the pay-per-views, they bring them over to Paramount Plus, and they sell them the full gambit of what Paramount Plus has to offer. The UFC's job in this deal is to get subscribers to Paramount Plus. That is why they're getting paid so much money. The streaming wars continue. Let me know what you guys think about this. Long video, went into all the details here. You guys let me know what you think about this. UFC signing with Paramount, is this where you want it to be? Tell me if Paramount Plus is a good app. Let me know all your thoughts and comments down below, and I'll see you next time.